Welcome back to WSHS Algebra 1 Virtual Tutor. Today we are going to be talking about substitution. Our vocab words that are important is a blank is a symbol, usually a letter that represents one or more numbers. So we say a variable. Okay, a variable is a letter in your expressions. A algebraic expression is a mathematical phrase that includes one or more variables. There is no equal sign. And then to evaluate, that means you substitute in a given number for each variable and then simplify. So you can see that we have some calculator tricks here, and this is if you're using a TI-84. To get absolute value, you must hit Math, right arrow, and then number 1 will give you absolute value signs. Once you insert that, the absolute value will pop up on your calculator and you can continue to solve your problem. The square root, in order to get the square root symbol, you must press second, which is your blue button, and then x squared. And then finally, your cubed root, you have to hit Math, number 4. And once you do that, it'll then take you back to your screen and pop up for you. So these are good calculator tricks that will help you. So example 1, it says evaluate each expression for the given values of the variables. So what you are doing is the letters in the word problem are getting tired and they're coming out of the equation. And what's substituting in for them are the numbers. Okay? So anywhere where you see an H, you're going to insert the number 11. So if we look at this, we have an H, so we have 11. And then we have a parenthesis. And now a J. So instead of a J, you're going to insert the number 14. Minus H. H again, we insert the number 11. Parenthesis. Division sign, and a 3. Now, once you have inserted these numbers, you use orders of operation, so PEMDAS. And remember, you do multiplication and division right to left, and the same thing left to right, left to right. And you do addition and subtraction left to right as well, just like you read a book. So if I look at this, I have parentheses, so I have to do 14 minus 11. And that gives us 3. So we have 11, parenthesis 3, divided by 3. Next step, we have to do multiplication. 11 times 3 gives us 33, divided by 3. And now that we have one number on the top and one number on the bottom, we can now divide. And when we divide 33 divided by 3, we end up getting 11 as our answer. So your answer is 11. For letter B, now we're just inserting in different numbers because we have different letters. So who goes in for the game for M? We're putting in 1s, and anywhere you see a P, you put in negative 12. So we have the square root of 1 plus absolute value sign, P squared. So P, instead of P, I'm putting a negative 12. Now, anytime you insert in a negative number, you want to put that in parentheses, especially if you are doing squaring or cubing something. You must put it in parentheses or you will not get the correct answer. And then we say divide by 6, absolute value. Now here was a good problem where you want to take out your calculator, I have brought my calculator up and we have the square root of 1. So again, those math tricks, I'm going to hit square root is second, x squared, and then you're going to type in the letter number 1 and press enter. The square root of 1 is 1. Then we have absolute value. So absolute value was math, right arrow to number 1. And we have a fraction. So in order to get a fraction, we press alpha y equals enter. And that's another good trick you might want to put down. Parenthesis, negative 12. Not 0, 12. Parenthesis, squared. Squared is located right here. Down arrow and 6. Press enter, and it does all the absolute value and squaring for you, so you end up getting 1 plus 24, and 1 plus 24 is 25. So again, I use my calculator to solve this. We could solve it by hand. Square root of 1 is 1, plus negative 12 squared is going to give us 144 divided by 6. Again, 144 divided by 6 is going to give us 24, and then we simplify to 25. Again, to get the fraction on your calculator, we press alpha, y equals enter. And that's your shortcut to get your fraction on your calculator. Now for the you try, you're plugging in 3 different numbers this time. Okay, so it really doesn't change our problem that much. We just are inserting more things in. So instead of the m, I plug in a negative 8 minus negative 14 plus negative 1 squared. Again, when I plugged in that negative 1, I put it in parentheses. You must put it in parentheses. I also, when I plugged in negative 14, I also put that in parentheses. So again, rule of thumb, anytime you're inserting in a negative number, you're substituting that in, put it in parentheses. All divided by 5. So this negative 8, the double negative becomes plus 14. Negative 1 squared, when I square negative 1, what you're really doing is multiplying it by itself. So negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1 divided by 5. We can't divide yet. We have to simplify our numerator. Negative 8 plus 14 plus 1 ends up giving us 7 over 5, or 1.4 would work. So your answer is 7 over 5, or 1.4. Okay. There are no additional notes at this time. When we look at our practice problems here, it says evaluate each expression for the given values and variables when. So you're using x is negative 2, y equals 3, and z equals 4 every single time for numbers 1 through 4. So we have a 4, you plug in the z, which is also 4, plus 2, parenthesis, negative 2 squared, minus, parenthesis, 3 cubed. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 2 times negative 2 squared is really negative 2 times negative 2, which is positive 4, minus, and 3 cubed is 27. And then from here, we are going to multiply 2 times 4, so we get 16 plus 8 minus 27. And now we just simply add from left to right. So 16 plus 8 is 24 minus 27, and 24 minus 27 will give us negative 3 as our answer. For number 2, again, we are inserting in. So you have parenthesis 2 times -2 whole thing squared minus 4 cubed minus -2. Oh, I'm sorry. It is 3. That's a y, not an x. 3 squared. So, again, first we have to simplify inside of our parentheses. So we have 2 times -2, so that's going to give us -4 squared minus 4 cubed is going to give us 64 minus 9. -4 squared breaks down to 16. Again, it's positive. It's -4 times -4 equals positive 16. And 64 minus 9 is going to give us minus 55. So we have 16 minus 55. I plug that in, and I end up getting -39 as my answer. Number 3, for x, we are plugging in -2. This is not a good example for Algebra 1, so we're going to cross this one out. And let's jump to number 4. Number 4, we have 4 for z, cubed root 8, plus -2 cubed minus 2 times, I forget what y was, so I'm going to scroll back up here. Y was 3. Now I'm going to take out my calculator to show you how to do this one in your calculator. So in our calculator for this one, first things first, I'm going to turn it on and I'm just going to hit clear. And I'm going to plug in 4. Now I'm going to plug in the cubed root of 8. So remember the cube root was math, number 4 cube root. And it's 8, and then I'm just going to press enter to get what that equals. That equals 8. Now I'm going to plug in -2, parenthesis, -2. Right here, our little caret is what we use for our exponent. Again, the caret is what we use as our exponent, and we plug in a 3, and I'm going to press enter. So right now we have 8 plus -8. And then last but not least, I hope you can do 2 times 3, which is 6. So we end up getting 8 plus -8 minus 6. So I just carried down the minus sign there. Well, 8 plus -8 is 0 minus 6, and 0 minus 6 is -6. So your answer is -6. That concludes our lesson on substitution. There are practice problems there for your convenience as well with the answers. Thank you.